Hyperemsis, because I didn't really explain what it was. I told you guys I had it, but I didn't explain what it was. So the first thing is that Miss Vaughn TV here on YouTube has a whole video dedicated to hyperemesis, about the disease, how it progresses throughout your pregnancy. I currently have a mild case of hyperemesis, but it was more severe in the first trimester, and even in the early parts of my second. So you know, it just varies from person to person, but usually you're diagnosed with it in your second trimester, or if you have a really, really good doctor, they go ahead and diagnose you with it in your first. So hyperemesis is severe malnutrition and severe vomiting. You can't keep anything down. This is not morning sickness. This is something much, much, much worse than morning sickness. And they cannot figure out why pregnant women get it. They do know there can be a link genetically, but they're still trying to figure out. This is a very new disease in terms of people discovering about it, educating themselves about it, even doctors. So within the past 5 to 7 years, you know, people are discovering it and finding out about it. And for me, my sister had it, my mother had it, and 3 of my aunts and my grandmother had it. And this is all on my maternal side, of course. And I did not have it with my first pregnancy with my daughter. I mean, I had some morning sickness, but it wasn't deep. I lost weight, but it wasn't anything drastic. And I mean, I progressed throughout my pregnancy. It was fine. But for me, it was such a thing to get my mind around initially, because it was like, I didn't have this at first, what in the hell is going on? But because I had that genetic factor, and because every pregnancy is really, really different, you know, hey, I have it. I am currently on medicine for it. I take Diacletics, and on rare occasions I take Zofran. I've been sick since 10 weeks. That's when I can pinpoint it. Because I was hospitalized once, I told you guys, and then 2 weeks later I was almost hospitalized again. However, my Diacletics has been able to regulate it, and of course throughout my second trimester I feel a little bit better. I can't say that I have been vomit free my second trimester, but it has gotten progressively better. By my 17th week I started to notice a real difference, because even though I was on my medicine at the beginning of 10 weeks, I was still throwing up at least twice a week. So from 10 weeks to 16 weeks I was throwing up twice a week, and that was totally normal for me, even being on medicine. And I was totally like used to that, you know what I'm saying? That was my normal. In my 17th week I noticed towards the end of the week I wasn't throwing up, and I was like, oh, you know, maybe I can, you know, slowly get out this medicine. Nope, I was so nauseous that day. I had to take something, had to take my medicine. I told my doctor, you know, I saw my doctor the next week. I'm like, I can't get off of this medicine. She's like, no problem, you can take it all throughout your pregnancy. It's not a big deal. So I currently still am on Diacletics and still kind of like taking that every night, and sometimes during the day if I feel like I need to. But yeah, like hyperemesis is a very real disease when you're pregnant. It only affects 1% of the population of pregnant women, so it's a very rare minority, and it's not something that you should dismiss. It's not something that you should, you know, should just allow people to kind of like, you know, make you feel like you're petty for being sick. No, if you can't keep anything on your stomach, no food on your stomach, no water, no anything, go to the hospital immediately, get some help. If your doctor's not understanding, go get another one, because this is something that could potentially harm your baby as well as you. It'll take more toll on you than it does your baby. So, you know, definitely go seek some help, educate yourself about the disease, and you know, and hopefully I haven't had any really drastic changes. My boobs still hurt from time to time, but not like they really did when I was talking to you guys earlier. They hurt so bad back when I was talking to you guys, but they've kind of smoothed and evened out. As far as the pain and the tenderness that I had, I don't burp like crazy anymore, which is a really good thing. I only have heartburn when I eat acidic things, so I try not to eat a lot of tomato based stuff, even though I love pasta. I try not to eat a lot of that stuff because it really can keep me up at night. I actually tried to eat some chili because I really like spicy stuff when I'm pregnant, and I tried to eat some chili. I ate it. It was good. I ate it. I kept it down for like 2 hours, and then I threw that back up. And so I have to watch my spicy content and my acidic content, and I just have to watch that because literally it can keep me up at night. Like, I can be tired and will not be able to go to sleep if I'm having heartburn. So, that's how I had heartburn with my daughter, towards the end of my pregnancy, but I'm getting it now towards the halfway point. So just something that I'm noticing. Let's see, I do hair, so I tend to stand on my feet a lot, and what I'm noticing now is that I have to have intervals. So I literally have to space out my clients throughout the week because I can't have back-to-back clients where I'm standing on my feet for too long, because literally my feet will start to hurt. Even if I'm just like moving around a whole lot, I literally have to be like, okay, chill, because at the end of the day, my feet are gonna hurt like crazy and my back's gonna hurt like crazy, and I just kind of have to watch that. I didn't have that as much with Reagan. Like, I could, but I wasn't doing hair consistently at the time, and so it just varied. But now, child, like, I literally have to space out clients, make sure I know when I'm spacing them out, because I cannot stay on my feet for too long. I started feeling the baby move at 15 weeks, and so that was something that was really super cool because it was flutters, but it was distinct. I knew it was movement. I know it wasn't, oh, I'm just having gas. Like, it was movements. And so I've just been feeling the baby move more and more and more and more and more as I've gone throughout my pregnancy. And so that's really cool. What I've noticed is that the baby moves more, from what I can tell, at night. Like, now if I'm doing stuff throughout the day and I'm walking, I'm getting up, I really can't tell. But since I am a stay-at-home mom, sometimes I am just sitting down, I'm idle, and then that's when I can feel it more. But definitely when I eat something sweet, moves around like crazy. Definitely when I eat certain things, or if I'm just kind of laying down, if I poke my stomach a little bit, the baby will move. And so I think it's so cool that you really can feel the baby move a lot earlier in your second pregnancy, because with Reagan, I only felt her move like when I was like 22, 23 weeks. That was my first movements for her. But this time I feel it so much earlier. I felt it so much earlier. So went to the doctor at 18 weeks, found out that I was having a girl, having another little baby girl, which I'm not necessarily mad about, but I would have preferred a boy. You guys heard me say this in my previous video. I really did want a boy, but I realized I'm supposed to have a girl, obviously, right? So I'm supposed to have a girl, and so I just need to embrace that in its totality. So that's what I'm doing. And I don't have names. I have literally thought about names, and probably after I record this video and upload it, I'm going to think some more about names. But the name that I wanted initially was going to be Riley Jean, and the name Riley was going to be spelled like hers. I spell her name different. Her name's Reagan, and I spell it R-H-E-G-A-N. And so I would have spelled Riley, if I name her Riley, R-H-Y-L-E-G-H. And then we could call her Riley J. I just thought that was so cute. I was like, oh, you can call her Riley J. And her middle name is Jean. Her middle name is going to be Jean regardless, because my mom's middle name is Jean, and my grandmother's middle name is Jean. Actually, both of my grandmother's middle names are Jean. And I adored my grandmother, and my mom's like literally a person I connect with on a very deep soul level. And so I was gonna name Reagan after my mom, but it would have been too long. And my mom was like, that doesn't go. So I was like, next baby I have, if it's a girl, she's gonna get your middle name, period. So I'm basically building everything around Jean. So as long as it flows with Jean, I'm good. My appointment was I have marginal previa. Now I was diagnosed with this at 18 weeks. My doctor's not concerned. She was like, I'm not concerned. We'll get concerned later. Because she told me in 60% of the cases, marginal previa always, your placenta always goes back up. So, yeah. So basically, marginal previa, there's 3 types. There's complete previa, there's marginal previa, and then there's partial previa. Complete previa is when your placenta is entirely covering your cervix, and so you wouldn't be able to deliver vaginally because the placenta will come out first, and you just run the risk of that rupturing and your baby not getting enough oxygen, possibly dying, losing blood. So many things could go wrong in that situation. So they 100% always do C-sections in that situation. And partial previa is where your placenta is partially covering your cervix, and so you run the risk of all the things that I just mentioned. And so they usually do, and partial previa, if it does not go up, the placenta does not go up to where it's supposed to be as your uterus grows, they do C-sections as well. Then you have marginal previa, which is what I have. And marginal previa is basically when your placenta is ever so slightly touching your cervix. And so, that's a heavily vasculated area. And usually in like 60% of those cases, it goes up, as your uterus expands, as the baby grows, it goes up, and so you can deliver vaginally. You can still deliver vaginally with marginal previa if your doctor agrees that you can. So I was like, okay, Lord, please let my little baby go, my little baby's placenta travel up to where it's supposed to be, and so I can deliver vaginally, because I need you guys to just be, sending up prayers for me that the next time I go to the doctor, which I go back in 2 weeks, and they do an ultrasound, it has gone up. That's pretty much it. I hope that this was worth the wait in terms of why I've been away for so long. But I just wanted to be able to tell you guys more information than the little idiosyncrasies of the changing symptoms that really don't typically change a whole lot. So, yeah. Now, lastly, I will show you guys my bump that you guys can see it. So this is the front. This is the side. So she's getting bigger. Let me kind of lift this up, but sometimes you can't see. And I always feel like I have to lift my boobs a little bit too. So the front again, the side, and yeah. So I'm getting bigger. This is me at 20 weeks. So 2 weeks. Let's say 2 weeks after I go to the doctor and I find out more about, the baby and stuff like that, I'll come back. If something changes before then, I will let you guys know. So we'll talk to you guys later. Bye. See you next time.